You know, in sports, you usually get stories of greatness or stories of heartbreak. But the Cleveland Browns, they're this bizarre and compelling mix of both. Unparalleled glory and unimaginable grit. All right, so let's get into this truly unique story.
And the story really starts with their helmet. I mean, just look at it. In a league that's filled with charging bulls, swooping eagles, and all these stylized letters, the Browns stand completely alone. Their helmet is just pure, unadorned burnt orange. It's a statement of identity, just by how simple it is. And it's really the perfect symbol for a team whose story is, well, anything but simple.
And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about here, a question that has haunted and defined this team for generations. How on earth did a franchise that was born from a run of dominance, a run that's just unequaled in sports history, become the poster child for struggle, and, somehow, for the most unbreakable loyalty in the game?
To really get the grit, you have to start with the glory. And believe me, in the beginning for the Browns, it was all glory. They didn't just join professional football, they basically took it over.
Just look at the sheer velocity of this success. So they launch in '46 in a rival league, the AFC, and win the championship every single year that league existed. Every single year. So when they finally joined the NFL in 1950, the established teams are probably thinking, all right, time for a little reality check.
Nope.
Instead, the Browns win the NFL championship in their very first season. For their first 10 years in the NFL, they played in the championship game every single season. Seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. That kind of dominance has never been matched, not in any major American sport.
So what's the bottom line here? It's this number. 8. 8 total league championships. And they did it in just their first 19 seasons. I mean, this wasn't just some good team. This was a foundational dynasty of professional football. They were absolute royalty, period.
But, all dynasties have to end. And for the Browns, the end of their championship era, well, that was just the opening act for something way, way worse. An event that would just rip the heart out of an entire city and change this franchise forever.
And here it is, the bombshell. Right in the middle of the '95 season, the owner, Art Modell, just announces he's moving the team. And for a city like Cleveland, a city whose whole identity is so wrapped up in this team, this wasn't just some business move. It felt like a deep, personal betrayal.
Well, the outrage from the fans was just immense. The city threatened to sue, and what happened next was something you just don't see in sports. A compromise was hammered out. Art Modell, he could take his players and his staff to Baltimore and start a brand new franchise, the Ravens. But, and this is the huge part, everything that was the Browns, the name, the logos, the colors, and most importantly, the entire team history, all those championships, all of that had to stay right there in Cleveland.
So get this, the Cleveland Browns never actually went away. The franchise was officially put on ice, suspended. The NFL guaranteed the city that the Browns would be back, reactivated, playing in a new stadium by 1999 at the latest. It's like the soul of the team was literally held in trust for the fans who fought tooth and nail to save it.
All right, so the Browns were back. But when they hit the field again in 1999, that dynastic glory felt like it was a million miles away. What followed were the next 2 decades, which pretty much became known as the wilderness years, a time of just constant, agonizing struggle.
And if you need one number, just one, to understand the chaos of this new era, here it is. 42. Since they came back in '99, the team has had 42 different starting quarterbacks. That's just a staggering figure. It absolutely screams of a franchise that's just desperately searching for a leader, for any kind of identity on the field at all.
And that long search for stability? Well, it hit absolute rock bottom in 2017. They actually managed to have a perfect season. Just, in the worst way imaginable. Their final record was 0-16. That made them only the second team in NFL history to go winless. It was the ultimate low for a franchise that was literally born from the ultimate high.
And it wasn't just the quarterbacks either. The head coaching job was a total revolving door. We're talking over 10 different head coaches since '99. You can see the tenures right here. 2 years, 3 years, boom, gone. With that kind of constant churn, it's pretty much impossible to build a stable culture, let alone a winning team. Okay, so after all of that, the unbelievable dynasty, the gut-wrenching betrayal, and then decades of struggling, you gotta ask, right? Why on earth does this team command such fierce loyalty? And that, right there, is where we get to the grit. An identity that was forged in the fire of all that heartbreak.
And you can literally see the evolution of the team's entire spirit right here. So on the left, you've got Brownie the Elf, this kind of whimsical mascot from those dominant championship years. And then on the right, you have the modern dog logo, which, by the way, was chosen by the fans themselves. It's like a visual journey from the carefree confidence of a dynasty to the tough, defiant spirit of today.
And that dog identity, it comes from a really authentic place. This wasn't some marketing gimmick. The famous Dawg Pound fan section, it got its name from the team's own defensive players back in the 80s. They started barking on the field to hype each other up, and the fans in the bleachers just took it and ran with it. It's a culture that grew completely organically, from the players straight to the people.
And hey, don't for a second think this is just some local Cleveland thing. This identity is global. The Browns Backers Worldwide organization has over 305,000 members. They have organized fan clubs on every single continent, and yeah, you heard that right, that includes Antarctica. It's this massive, passionate network of supporters all bonded by this shared story.
And this quote, it just says it all. A 2006 study called Browns fans the most loyal in the entire NFL. But here's the crazy part. The real kicker? This study pointed out that during a 7-year stretch where they were mostly losing, the stadium was still 99.8% full. That's not just loyalty. That is pure grit. That's showing up no matter what the scoreboard says.
And so that's where we are, left with this fascinating paradox. A franchise that was born from a level of glory that few teams have ever known, which then forged a fan base defined by a level of grit few could ever imagine having to endure. It's a story of two complete extremes, always pulling at each other. The only question left is, which one is going to define the next chapter of this incredible saga?